Hi guys, we have a full moon on the 14th of June, so I'm going to be looking at the astrology for the full moon, and also we'll do a spread on it with the tarot. So I've written up the astrology for the full moon. A full moon is when we have the sun and the moon in exact opposite position, and here we have the sun down here in Gemini at 23 degrees, and we have the moon up the top here at 23 degrees in Sagittarius, the opposite point. So when these two are exactly opposite, they have quite a strong pull towards our inner expression. It's where we can express ourselves more clearly and more with more intensity and more emotion. So sometimes that can be a good thing, and sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge, because this is when we can have our eruptions. Now with sun moon, the aspects is what we need to look at for the sun moon combinations to see what the sun moon's all about. And Neptune is really sitting at the forefront of us. So Neptune's sitting here in its home comfortable position of Pisces at 25 degrees, and it's squaring here the moon in Sag, of course, and the sun down here in Gemini. This is making a T-square to the sun moon, with the Neptune sitting in the fulcrum point, or what I call the midpoint of that. So with that energy of Neptune, it's going to be over this period of time. Like I said, this is around the 14th of June. It's a time when we're going to maybe be needing some clarity on where we really want to go. It could be a good time to really go deeper into ourselves and have a look at what our true desires are, our true sense of direction, because with the sun and the moon together, it's always representing our outer and inner worlds coming together. It's also the male and the female principle coming together as well. And when it's opposite, it can work in quite a harmonious way. But with the square to Neptune, we're going to see some situations that may come out, and it may be relative to family, being the sun moon, or it may be relative to relationships, where we're going to be uncertain whether this is where we're wanting to be. So we do have some positive aspects going on with the sun moon to Saturn, so that means that we're going to take a more serious look at what's going on in our lives at this time, and again, where we want to put our energy, our time, and our dedication. Now with those aspects to Saturn, it means that if we decide there's anything that we're needing to separate from during this time, or that we're wanting to move away from, or we're wanting to do something that feels more meaningful in our lives, this is going to make it quite easy with the Saturn and soft aspect to the sun and the moon. So the sun is sitting at a trine with Saturn. So here we are again, sun trine to Saturn. Now we always have a trine when we have the same elementals. So we've got the trine is sitting in air, and when it's at the same degree, and that means that our desire to really put ourselves into something with full responsibility and full dedication, it's going to be really, that pull is going to be very, very strong. But again, we're going to want to do that in something that feels extremely purposeful. And being an Aquarius here, it has to be sort of independent, and it has to be something that we really feel we are possibly contributing to humanity in some ways. With the moon in a sextile to Saturn here, this is that's a 60-degree aspect, and that again makes it easy at an emotional level to dedicate ourselves to something that we feel is again more where we desire to be. So it could possibly bring up, with this Neptune going off, it could bring up feelings of uncertainty, or feeling like you thought that something was going to be working out in a certain direction, and then Neptune might show you that no, this isn't quite the real picture. Saturn is going to be the reality check. Saturn's going to, and because it's working positively for us, it's going to be very, very clear to us, even though Neptune, it can be cloudy and quite the opposite to clarity. It's a time also where we are needing to trust, because Neptune is all about trusting. Now Neptune's been in Pisces for quite a while. That's its planetary ruler, and it quite likes to be in Pisces. That's when it can be, it gets maximum benefit. And with, with Neptune there in Pisces, it's a very strong pull towards creative energies, towards working towards the art, towards what I call vibrational energy, which is about shifting us up to what makes us feel good. With Neptune sitting there, it's a time when we're when we can really raise our vibration if we choose to. Like I said, this could be a time where we have realizations, not like a Uranus sudden realization, as much as a subtle understanding of what our inner works are and what we're really wanting to do in a more creative space. So Neptune, I see that as a higher unconditional expression of love, actually, when it's used and it's positive. It's very humanitarian in the sense that Neptune is very empathetic and understanding and able to help, especially in the sign of Pisces. So with all that going on, it feels like, we can, if we are experiencing problems, and there could be a few little issues coming up here we also have a Mercury-Mars square going on here. Sorry, it's not a square, it's a semi-square, which is a 45 degree, that is half of a square. And so with that, we could be experiencing a little bit of conflict or arguments, or differences of opinion or differences of opinion relative to what direction we're going in, is the feeling I get with this. And with Neptune there, it's going to really enable us to able to understand other people's perspective. It's also going to enable us to practice unconditional love, where if we're feeling disappointment or we're feeling rejection, or we're feeling any of those Saturn things that we feel that we're just not being heard, or we're just not feeling connected enough, this is the time when we can actually reconnect. But coming together for common goals or common purpose is going to be very important during this time as well. And this is all connected into the Venus node Uranus combinations we have going on here, which I'll cover in a second. But with this Neptune energy, like I said, it's going to be a time when you can actually, if you tend to be connecting, if you tend to really want a peaceful situation, if you really want to connect into the arts, to music, to anywhere where you can express yourself at a vibrational level. And when I say vibrational energy, that means the vibrational energy that we can't see, but we can hear, like in music, or it can be connecting to plants, which of course is also vibrational energy that uplifts us. So it's a time to absolutely be grounded, because we've got a lot of this floaty Neptune energy, but it is a time for inspiration, a time for psychic realizations, a time when all that psychic and creative energy can really expand and be really connected to. Of course, the other side of it can be that we can feel extremely disappointed with Neptune, because we can set ourselves up to be disappointed at, in lots of ways when we have high expectations, sometimes unrealistic expectations. Now, with Neptune there, that can, we can tend to put people on pedestals. We can be tending to look for answers from others. This is a time to be going within and finding the answers yourself. And even if you're not practiced in working, with your intuition, you just have to get into nature and talk to nature and ask nature to give you a sign, because nature the universe will always give you a sign. But it is a time to really make the most of that energy. Like I said, there can be the sense of disappointments or disillusionments, and with that, with the Saturn there, if there's a real disappointment, a real change in situation going on, you can, with the Saturn there, you can just cut off and disconnect from it quite easily. So, like I said, it will be a bit of a telltale time to decide, what you want to be around and what you don't want to be around, what you want to let go of and what you adhere to, what is going to really make you feel connected, feel good and feel uplifted. Like I said, the positive aspects, the positive qualities of Neptune. The other wonderful thing we have going on here is this combination down here, which is Venus, Node, and Uranus. Now, they're 5 degrees apart from each other, which is making it a very clear, direct midpoint to each other, meaning that Uranus and the Node energy is, blending to, and the outcome is coming through, or those energies are being projected through Venus. So Venus is all about love, and it's saying that Uranus Node there, this can be an exciting time for love. It could be a time for new relationships to come in. It's a time when we could be feeling quite a high energy and a high vibe. The Venus Node conjunction itself is a lovely quality. It's all about, a love of humanity. It relates to love relationships. It's about feeling good in connection and in conjunction, literally, with others. So Venus Node, very often picked up in what we call compatibility charts or synastry charts, where we're looking at two people and how they get on. It's very much about love and love connections. But if it's not about love, it's going to be about it is about love, but if it's not about a love relationship, it's going to be about, the people that you're close to, the people that you love in the family situations. Because the node is about all associations and all connections. So it could just mean that, it's going to be a nice time around work colleagues. We have got Uranus here, so that can, be a time to expect the unexpected. This could be the time when, if we haven't been happy in situations, and Neptune is sitting there with the Sun Moon, when we know one side of Neptune can be deception, or we're not being completely honest with ourselves or others, and with that Venus, Uranus and Node, it could be a temptation to go out and have an affair, or to change things suddenly, or just to, lift up the vibe, to do something for yourself, to feel good. I'm not recommending going out and having an affair, of course. I think, just wait until this energy calms down a bit, and to see, what areas you're needing to really address within yourself first. But, that temptation could be there with those combinations. It's also a time when, of course, new relationships can come in and develop very quickly. Now, they will have an imprint of great connections, but they could start in quite a dramatic way, or, with a lot of excitement, or there could be a little bit of upset as well. It could be upsetting to people around them, their families, or the outside environment within the relationship could be unsettled about the situations around the relationship. So it's an interesting combination. I see it as, very strongly at a collective level, people coming together for common purpose and goals. And with the Saturn combinations, we have Saturn, really, like I said, getting us to take a really hard look at what's going on, what do we want to stay with, what do we want to separate from. And Neptune, again, is going to be bringing out any areas where we've been kidding ourselves, or any areas where we're needing to raise our vibration and to experience more joy and love in our energy fields. So the other one I want to talk about here is, again, these are really good examples of direct midpoints, if anyone's interested in astrology for learning at that level, which, like I said, it's when a planet is sitting exactly in between the exact midpoint of two planets. And here you can see it really clearly: Jupiter, Mars, and Neptune all sitting, they're sitting 10 degrees apart. So that gives us a Mars, Neptune, Jupiter. So again, this is about Mars is about where we put our energy and our drive, and Neptune is about, sometimes we can put it into the wrong thing with Neptune, or we can put it into something that's really more meaningful. It's going to really depend on the person's desires. But with Jupiter there, it's sort of saying that, it feels like we're going to expand through that Mars Neptune energy, which at a very positive level, it is about assistance, helping others, caretakers, people that are there to help and look after others. Jupiter there, it's like I said, it's going to be very productive. It's going to be a very productive time where there could be a lot of assistance or help coming through others, coming through the environments. So it's also a time with Mars Neptune, it does sometimes have an effect on our health. Now, Mars Neptune can relate to infections. It can relate to anything that really sort of debilitates the body and slows us down. So infections and parasites could be a really good time to do a parasite cleanse with that Mars Neptune Jupiter. Jupiter tends to exaggerate things. So if there's an infection going on in the body, it's could come out during this time to be addressed. So I see this as a very, some full moons look really intense. They can be really, a lot of situations explode. Like I said, they implode during those times. And, this is a time, it's much more softer energy. It's the sort of full moon where you might want to put on some music and just dance, because Neptune's all about feeling that movement, that vibration, dancing, connecting in. Or you may want to, utilize the energy to just meditate, or just to be still, just to be present, to find psychic answers, automatic writing, learning tarot, astrology, any of those things. Very, very good for developing the psyche. So it's quite a soft, even the hard aspects are actually coming through soft. Quite a soft energy for this full moon, which is good, because the moon in Sagittarius, that can be quite explosive in itself. It can exaggerate things. It can, Sagittarius won't hold back. Scorpio is quite the opposite. Holds in and keeps it to himself. And then as we move into the Sagittarius, it's just like they can't hold anything in. So if there's emotional issues, emotional things that are bothering us at a deeper level, this can come out at that time. The Mercury Mars, it could come out a bit abrupt, but like I said, with the Neptune energy, I think it's going to, we may even wonder what we were actually even talking about in the first place. It's a processing that we have to do, and sometimes we have to communicate it to actually understand what's going on for us, because this is really, with this Neptune sitting at the Sun, it's all about a deeper understanding for us on what's really going on here. I'm just going to lay out some cards and have a look what to expect for this full moon. The Mercury has gone officially direct, but it's still been sitting quite, moving quite slowly. It's not actually back to the position where it went when it first started to go retrograde last month, until the 19th of June. So that's when we're back to 4 degrees Gemini. So whatever happened around at the beginning of that, the retrograde, so we're talking 3-4 weeks ago. Now, that's might be activated again with that, with the Mercury going back to that degree. But that's when we've sort of gone over the whole retrograde. We've got through the shadow period, and we're really ready to move forward by that time. So whatever the full moon brings up, I think that's just going to clear the way. Again, with that Mars Neptune, it's a great time to detox. It's a great time to think about the physical body and the needs for the physical body with Mars going on there. So let's have a look. So yes, these cards are confirming that we may be feeling a bit, that negative of the Neptune, feeling a bit sorry for ourselves or feeling a little bit down. This card here, I use often for Neptune because it's, it's one of those cards that is, things aren't quite working out. This person could be not feeling very positive, about their finances, feeling very secure, or they could have major health issues. Now, I don't really see this as major health issues. I actually see it as generally infection, which is interesting, which is again is Mars Neptune. So this is where we're going to be looking at, what we're needing to do for our health. It also comes up for when we're needing to detox. So that's sort of confirming that with the Neptune there. But it's sort of saying, like with Neptune, it's not, like with the Jupiter, we can feel really positive about our security, and even with Saturn, positive about where we're going. But with Neptune, we're just not sure. We're just not sure whether we're going to be able to get through and make it to the other side with regards to whatever we're trying to make happen. So I think it's going to could be a financial concern going on here and health concerns. But these cards are really telling me that, that will just be a momentary thing, as full moons are, and because they're not setting the stage for the month like a new moon, but they do project and bring out a lot of the energies that were set on the new moon, and of course confirmed by the full moon. So with this, it looks like, again, we've got some beautiful new energy for love, like I said, with this down here. But I think we need to take our time. We need to use that Saturn connection, the soft aspects to the sun moon during this time, to really be clear about what, if we are entering into new love or into new situations, or if we have got issues going on around our relationships, if where we have felt disappointments, and this is being confirmed by the cards here, that Neptune is going to be, as it's sitting square to the sun moon, going to bring out any areas where we have felt disappointments, and it's been possible to be in a relationship and not feel disappointed at some point. So these past hurts could be coming up, or they could be more recent, but it's really just a time. Let's just talk about it, let's clear it, we need to move on. And the universe is really encouraging us to move on and to heal during this time. And when I say heal, it's not in a big way. These are little things, even the health issues. These aren't big issues. These are small issues that we just need to take the right actions with. The same for our relationships. We're needing to gain a deeper understanding of each other through communicating at this time and saying, well, do we want to work through this and bring our love into a new level, or is it not possible to work at this? Because in some situations, if there is no agreement here, or there is no meeting in the middle here, it does look like some couples could decide to go their own separate ways during this time. But again, this isn't 100% clear here. It's sort of saying that you could do that, only to come back to sort it out at another time, possibly, because this isn't about endings. This is actually about new beginnings. It's about shifting your energy, and I feel that the challenges are going to be within relationships, and not just our own love relationships, also personal relationships, also work relationships, family relationships. There seems to be a need for agreement at this time to move forward. So it's looking really very positive if we're able to project our energies in a very positive way, if we're able to protect our energies from being drained, because with the Neptune energy, it can pull in people that are hard done by, or feel hard done by, or quite needy at that time. So we do need to protect our energy from absorbing. Of course, we can always help, but we don't need to absorb or feel. Feeling sorry for a person is not constructive at all. Feeling empathy for their situation is where you can help them. But when we're feeling sympathy, we tend to pull into their energy, and then we can actually feel quite exhausted from it, in fact. So it's sort of saying a little bit of protection there around those that you connect with, and also being choosy about who we connect with during this time seems to be quite important. Because again, with this Venus node, Uranus, we are going to feel really drawn to those, again, like I said, like-minded, but also those that we really feel connected at a heart level. So there's 3 major arcana cards here. When you get 3 together, it can be a lot to digest. So I just needed a second here to. So it's saying things are going to come back into balance through. And family situations, and situations of, again, relationships, family situations, or it could just be to do with couples, but things where they've been out of balance are going to come back into balance naturally through this higher vibration. So this is showing here, the positive of what I was describing, of this Neptune energy, where we can just connect in and feel a deeper understanding of each other, so that we've created an even deeper bond with these people that we feel these bonds with. There is a challenge here, but also, when I say challenge, it's only a small challenge, but I'd say 70% of this is actually like you're just not going to be able to do anything else but trust your intuition. Then the challenge is like a 30% here to really trust it. So in other words, there's a very strong intuition coming through. It's going to be powerful, and a lot of people are going to be receiving messages, information, and connection to that, but some will just discard, some won't quite trust. So I'd say, you know, I've got this 30% here, with that saying 30% of people aren't going to just, you know, then they're going to actually go, wow, well, that was very strong, and I need to trust then. But I feel that people are going to be looking to others for answers during this time, as they're, you know, really feeling something quite deep stirring in their soul that they're wanting confirmation on. So that looks really good, because this is, with Neptune, you know, a time we need to trust our intuition. We need to trust what's going on for us, and we really need to look at why we fear these messages that come through. And when I say that, that's what the universe is saying at this point in time. This is the time for that. So, you know, at a deeper level, we have, you know, we're being, the universe is setting us up for, again, more soul connections to come into our lives for particular purpose and particular objectives, plans and activities with others. So the outcome here, again, is very strong cards here. It's, you know, you have the Hierophant there looking after everything. Now that's spirit energy, and it's sort of saying that this is divine. There's a divine shift happening. So when I look at these cards, I see it as like an energetic shift that we're not going to see, we're going to feel. And this is saying that this is going to bring in more confidence in ourselves, but also in our belief systems. And when I say our belief systems, I feel like our belief in ourselves, our belief that everything is going to financially work out. There does seem to be an issue here with finances, or people concerned about their security, but also around relationships. If relationships come in, new relationships at this time, they're absolutely meant to be. This is a very strong fated time for people to be connecting for certain purpose and projects that are going to be coming through more so for next year. So they've got to meet and connect and make these things happen. But I feel also that there's a lift up for those that are really wanting to do more, extend themselves more into better positions, you know, where they haven't had the confidence. I feel that things will just happen, and you wouldn't have had time. They'll happen quite quickly, and you wouldn't have even had time to think about, am I capable to do this position? Is this something I would have gone and signed up for? Because you're being brought into it in a sort of fated way through connections and through people. So it does look like a very interesting time where there is going to be more confidence, more abundance, more love being expressed during this time. Like I said, it's a time for inner search and recognizing what isn't working and what's draining us, and really stepping into what we're here to do. And I just feel there's going to be a big lift up for a lot of people to step up, and also a new level of abundance coming in, a new level of productivity coming in for a lot of people. So I thought I'd finish off with these chakra cards, because I really like these chakra cards, and they, you know, they show the planets and chakras and house systems. This is them here. They, you know, the symbol of Chiron on the front here. And I thought I'd just lay out a few cards here, because they sort of, for me, with the new moon, full moon, they always confirm what planets are really, really strong. And quite often I get almost, you know, you get the aspects sitting straight in front of you that you've got going on in the wheel. So let's have a look. So interesting, because what we have here is that we are going to be getting the opportunity to break certain patterns, but not through our normal way where the pattern comes up and we really realize it and we've got to become consciously aware and then we've got to take the actions. This is more like a sudden shift here, with patterns, almost like a new opportunity that's going to allow those patterns to break. So I feel that where we have, for those that have brought certain cycles or patterns into into their conscious awareness. They're aware that these patterns are in their, in their making. I feel like they're going to get the opportunity to step out of the cycle more so and manifest a whole different situation. So it's actually looking quite grounded, actually, and I think because we do have a lot here in Taurus going on, and even with Uranus there, which isn't grounded at all, having it in Taurus is really giving it some strength to do a lot more practical stuff. So again, we're confirming, have faith. We also have the Scorpio card coming up saying, be the detective, investigate what's going on. And that's sitting next to Taurus, of course, which is quite nice, Scorpio Taurus axis. So that's being quite activated with the South Node, North Node. And of course, the North Node is where we're going, and the South Node's where we've been. So right now, humanity's going through a phase of coming through quite a dark period, a period of things that have been hidden and things that have been going on under the surface that we haven't been able to see, and we've had to really investigate to find, and coming out into the light of Taurus where we can utilise new information and use it in a whole new practical way. There's also the soulmate card here, which is great to see, with soul connections coming together. Like I said, this is all about soul family during this time, and those special bonds that we have to share, but not just to share our love, but also to expand and grow and to create together. So security is saying that things will be more secure in the future. Was interesting. I was getting the financial card and the outcome, the sense of a handout, but it looks like there's going to be some changes around finances. Might even be around banking systems, because the card was about banking. It was about the money going to a particular person as a loan, which needs to be paid back. But the security coming up again with Taurus and Uranus and Taurus again. This is really there's some big changes coming up for our security. But to see the manifestation in the Earth symbol at the top is fantastic. It's saying this is going to be grounded into our new reality. So authority is sitting in the middle here, so there will be some rules, regulations, situations where we may feel we don't have control over, but sort of saying that these changes could actually lighten the load, not make things harder for us. So that would be awesome to see for the future as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again, or you will see me again next time. Bye.